Okay, so welcome to the first video in the Higher Learning LinkedIn strategy. This video will be focused on positioning and your profile strategy. So I'm going to walk you through number one, setting up your LinkedIn profile, and then number two, identifying how to position yourself so that you can be the most successful candidate while utilizing LinkedIn. Again, this training is geared specifically towards those who do not currently have a LinkedIn profile or those who created one a while back and just really haven't done anything with it. That's who this training is geared towards. So if you have a LinkedIn profile and you pretty much know what you're doing and how you're doing it, this is not for you. I'm not trying to change your mind with how you're doing your strategy. I just want to support those who do not currently have a LinkedIn profile. So we'll go ahead and jump in and we're going to start from the beginning. Let me share my screen. All right, so I have already started creating a profile from scratch. I've done all of the preliminary things, but I'm at the point where I'm putting in the location. I believe I've already done my name. I've done a job title. As far as my employer, I'm going to add Integrity First Business Solutions. And I wanted you guys to see this part because as you type in your employer, whoever your current employer is, I want you to be sure that you link that company's page to your profile. That's going to be very significant. If you're a student, go ahead and swipe that over, but we're going to go ahead from here. And then it's asking me for a 6-digit code. So let me pull that from my email. All right, so the next step is confirming that I am over the age of 18. And of course, you guys could have done this, independently, but I just wanted to walk you through it. So are you actively looking for a job? Let's just say yes, but you can choose whichever one works for you. And of course, you can skip this part, but I kind of wanted you to see what the setup looked like. So as you can see, you can add a couple of job descriptions. I'll just put, yeah, here it is. All right, and then I'll say, okay. And then if you enable these toggles, it'll send you emails whenever there's a job that's appropriate for the job title that you selected. But you don't have to. You can also share with recruiters that you're open to jobs. You'll see that as we get to the page, how that looks. So I'll say continue. Here, they want you to add a photo. By all means, add a photo to your profile. If you do not add a photo, it's going to look as if you are a bot. And we don't want you to come across as being someone who's fake. We need to see your genuine, authentic self. AI photos, by all means, whatever you have to do, go ahead and upload a photo. But for this course, I'm not going to upload one. I'll come back to it. And then it's going to recommend all these people who you may or may not know because of the company that I've associated myself with. So that's why these people are showing up. But I'm going to just continue without connecting because this is just a dummy page. Then it's going to show me recommendations of companies that I should follow. I recommend following as many companies that potentially are in your industry because that's going to help kind of build out what those networking opportunities look like for you. So let's continue. And then if you want to get the app, you can do it this way, or you can just go to your store and download it from there. So this is my dummy profile. You can start searching for jobs. This is actually what your homepage looks like until you start following people and building your network. And I will show you what that looks like once you have an active page. But for right now, this is what it's going to look like. In order to build out all of the parts of your profile, you'll start by either clicking on your name or going to me and then viewing your profile. And this is where you will begin building out every section of your profile. Okay, so let's talk about positioning, because before we talk about visibility, keywords, or networking, we need to talk about how you position yourself. Most LinkedIn frustration won't come from an algorithm, because remember, this is not about any algorithms, how many followers you get or anything like that. Now, your followers and those you connect with, that does matter, but that's not what LinkedIn is about. The frustration with utilizing or navigating LinkedIn comes from people who want to be found or who want to be seen, but they're not clear in exactly who they are or what they're looking for. If you are not clear about what you do and where you're headed in your career, the more visibility you have, it won't help. It doesn't even matter. Positioning is whenever a recruiter or a hiring manager lands on your page and they can immediately understand where you will fit within their company. That means that this section, this entire little header section, has to tell us in just this one little section, what role you're targeting, at what level, what kind of work you plan to do, or what kind of work you want to do, and then what kind of value you're going to add to the organization. If we come to your page and we have to guess that information about you from this one little section, if we have to guess, we're going to move on. Again, LinkedIn is not a resume. It really is used as a scanning tool. Yes, you're going to set up your experience. Yes, you're going to set up your education and your skills, just like you are doing a resume. This is something that's it's an asset to your resume. So again, they're going to skim it. And if you can land and nail this area, it's going to force them to want to learn more about you, and they'll go down further in your page to read more about who you are. Also, remember that all recruiters on LinkedIn are looking for people. They're sourcing candidates. So there's a way for us, and I'm not going to be able to show you the back office of this, that's confidential, but there's a way for us to look up specific candidates in specific locations with specific job titles, and we can filter those lists down as detailed as we want. And if you are one that shows up, even though you haven't applied for the job, recruiters will reach out to you. That's why you want to make sure you nail this section of your resume. Don't put anything here like seeking opportunities or experienced professional, results-driven leader. That doesn't tell us anything. You have to have a strong headline structure. So an example of this, let's say, would be if I was going to go here. So I already have head of people operations. I can take this out because I'm already going to see where you work. When I get ready to look at that image, I'll show you guys where that is again. But let's say I want to say, can't spell tonight, supporting multi-state operations, driving compliance, and workforce stability. Okay. Also, you see here, if you have premium, you can get AI suggestions, but only pay for premium if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. So when someone comes on this page, they'll see this is the title I'm looking for, this is what I do, and this is the value I'm going to add. Real simple. So let's look at your About Me section. Now, this is where you add your profile sections. You can do it manually, or you can click here and get help from AI. I would prefer you do it manually. That way you know everything is something you can speak to. So there's your core sections, there's your recommended sections, and then there's your additional sections. The additional sections are like the extra things that you do, volunteer work, awards, organizations that you're a part of that may matter. Also, any contact information that you want to share. Your recommended sections are things that they think you should probably add, such as any special projects or any licenses or certifications that you have that are relevant to the roles you're applying for. And then there's the core, which is your profile picture, the About Me section, the education section, and everything else down here, and your skills. All of this information should be able to be pulled from your resume. And if you have gone to the website and built out or revamped your resume, you can just copy and paste all of that information in. It's real easy. Okay. So I'm going to share my page. Let's go to my page so that you can see actually what this looks like. All right. So here's my real page. As you can see, this shows where I work. This shows the university that I currently attend. So all of that is already here. You don't have to include it in your header section. Now, this section is what's going to trigger someone to want to scroll down a little bit further to learn more about you. Most recruiters will not read this entire section. So the first 3 to 5 lines really matter. This is where you want to make sure that you are writing for humans. Don't really do a lot of AI here. You're writing for humans, not algorithms. So you want to make sure that it makes sense, that you are telling your best version of your story, that you're very clear, and that you're not giving any childhood lessons or any personal philosophies. This is really about who you are and what value you're going to add. It's the longer version of your header. The first couple sentences should talk about what you do and where you're focused. The second should talk about what you're known for or what wins you've had in your previous companies or within your career. And then that third or bottom section should really focus on what you're targeting now moving forward in your career, what you're looking to do. Because I'm not actively looking, my About Me section looks way different. I'm not looking for a job, so I just kind of threw everything together. Additionally, you can add your top skills, whatever those top skills are on your resume after you send it through the AI tool or the strategy tool on the website. Just pull those top 5 skills and plug them in here. All right, services is any services that you have or any services that you offer. You can add that here if you like. It's not mandatory. Activity is going to show any comments you've made, any posts that you've put up, any images that you put up. That's what your posts are. You want to be very cognizant and pay attention to who you follow, what you comment on, and all of that, because anyone can just come here to see what it is that you've done. So be very mindful that this is not like TikTok, this is not like Instagram, and it's not like Facebook. You want to keep it professional here. And then your experience is your resume, your education, your licenses and certifications, any volunteering that you do, additional skills. As you can see, I have 96. Any organizations that you're a part of. And then down here at the bottom is your interest. This is important because if you apply for a job, you already know that companies have a section on their resume that asks you to link your LinkedIn profile. Now, if you choose to link it, that company can essentially come to your page and come down here to see if you're following them. So that's important. That's why I think it's important and necessary to have a LinkedIn page. Don't apply somewhere if you're not following that page. It just doesn't look right. I'm not saying it's necessary. That's just my recommendation. If you're going to apply for a company, at least follow that company because it shows that you have interest and you're doing research. Okay. So that's the relevance, I think, the most relevant part of having a LinkedIn profile. So again, this portion of the training is solely focused on positioning, how you position yourself, what your candidate brand looks like, and your profile strategy. Remember, visibility doesn't matter, keywords don't matter, and right now networking doesn't matter. All you need to focus on is really this section, which is your header, your About Me section, and just to reiterate that, your header talks about what role you're targeting, what level, what kind of work you do, and then how you add value. If you nail this part, they'll continue to come down to your About Me section to learn a little bit more about you. And this is where you need to highlight what you do, who you do it for, and what problems you solve. This is where you write for humans. You tell your story, very clear. Just write about what you do or what area you focus on, what you're known for, what are your wins, what are your accomplishments, and what you're targeting next in your career. If someone reads your headline in the first paragraph of your About Me section, then they should know exactly where to place you within their organization. If they can't place you, then they won't search for you. Positioning is the foundation of everything you will do on LinkedIn. The second part of this training is going to talk about experience, keywords, and searchability. But right now, I want you guys to focus just on setting the account up and building out as much of this as possible. Again, if you've already revamped your resume, you can go ahead and begin filling in your experience and your education. And if not, go over to the website, go ahead and get that done. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this recording up, and I will see you guys in the next one.